Okay, we're going to work together on this a little bit. My name is Dale Miller, and I'm an employee here at the nursery, and this is my boss. This is Delores Wingard Steinhauser. She and her husband Wally are the owners of the nursery. And she has more experience with growing herbs than I have. I've grown some various kinds of mint and some rosemary. Other than that, I just eat it at restaurants, where she's got a lot of information from direct experience. Now, the handout that you all have is very, very good. It gives you a lot of really good information about each individual herb that I think you'll find real useful. I'm going to give just a little bit of an introduction, and then I'm going to turn it over to her. I'll be following the handout that you have there just briefly in terms of an outline. Before I do that, I want to mention a couple of books. This book is a very, very good one. It has chapters on vegetables.
While you're talking, I'm going to run go get something.
And fruits and herbs. So there's some excellent information here that if you lose your handout, and if you have one of these books, you can always look it up. This one also has information on herbs. This one is a little different than that one. This one is month by month information. Exactly what do you do in December? What do you do in January with your herb garden or whatever? And it also has sections on lawn care and vegetables and so on. Fruits, however, are not included in this one. But all three of these books have information on herbs. A chapter in here, a chapter in here, and we have these, so you can pick one up here when you leave if you want to today. You can buy them, just pay for them over at the gazebo. And then this one, this is the ultimate herb book. This particular one is nothing but herbs with a lot of really nice color pictures, and this is an excellent resource if you would like something like this. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about herbs. They don't really need a whole lot of care. They're very easy to grow. If you've ever thought about doing it and haven't done it yet, I would go ahead and do it. There are very few pests, very little disease that attacks them. They don't need really good soil. I mean, most of them originate in the Mediterranean area where the soil is not real fertile, is rather rocky, and you can do it. Now, with hard-packed clay, you do want to amend it. And so with that, I would simply put about 3 inches of this orange bag here, this soil conditioner it's called. It's just composted pine bark. It lasts a long time. It doesn't decay very quickly. Slowly it decays and releases nutrients, but mostly it just keeps the clay that you've stirred it up in loose and crumbly. And they also are very drought tolerant once you get them established. So that's kind of a worry-free type of garden. Now, there are various ways that you might do this. You might put them in a container or make an individual bed. If you want to put it in a container, here's one that was made here at the nursery in a strawberry pot. Kind of an interesting way of doing it. Someone said, those are going to get kind of big in that little pot, aren't they? Well, the idea with herbs, of course, is that you don't just look at them, but you actually are snipping them and using them. In fact, with some kinds of things, that's really, you want to do that. There's at least one kind of herb that you can only do that once, and then you've killed the herb, so you need to keep more coming by growing it, and she'll talk to you about that. Or you may want to actually put a bed in somewhere down in the ground. Speaking of containers, here's another kind of way of doing it. Now, some types of herbs are invasive, and so they're going to take over everything. Mints especially are noted for that. You can always tell a mint because it'll have a square stem. So you've got lemon balm, and you've got your spearmint, and your peppermint, and there's even a pineapple mint. It's a variegated. It's kind of an interesting one. But that's soon all you're going to have if you plant that, unless you corral it. And so that's the reason for the pot in the pot, which actually adds some decorative value to it, I think. Kind of a neat way of doing it. And we set these up and sell them here at the nursery. This one actually is for sale after today. And or you can plant them in the ground. And again, with those invasive plants, you probably want to put 2x4s down in the ground on edge, make a box, or get a large pot. Get a pot like this one right here, and actually dig a hole and put it down, let it stick up about that far, and then fill it with soil, and then plant your herb in there, the one that's invasive. In terms of the ones besides the mint, what's the other one?
That's the only one
There's one other one.
Oh, yeah.
It's in your handout, but
it's in your handout.
We'll get there. And then another kind of container might be this one right here. This is called the earth box. This can be used for vegetables, or it can be used for any other kind of plant. It can even be used for flowers, but it would be great for herbs. The nice thing about this is that it's on wheels, it's on casters, you can roll it around, so if you don't have any space in the ground or you don't have any space in the sun, but you have a sunny deck or a sunny patio, you can actually plant it in here. The unique thing about this is that it's not just a box of dirt. It's actually a self-watering planter. So down in the bottom of this, there's actually a raised floor. So this is the floor. The water will be in the bottom 2 or 3 inches of this. You then put the floor in it, and you put a tube in it. This tube is where you fill it with water. So the water goes down here, and from the bottom up, it will wick its way up to the plants that are in the top. It comes with a booklet of directions. It tells you exactly how many plants to put in it. It comes with its own fertilizer, with its own lime to neutralize the soil. They have a great website, earthbox.com. They have little mini videos that you can click on and watch. They're about 2 minutes long. They show how you put it all together, but the directions are also here. It also tells you how many different kinds of plants you might be putting in here. For instance, herbs, you can put 6 seedlings in here and grow herbs. Now maybe 6 rosemary plants would be too much because some of them can get 3 to 4 feet tall, but depending on what it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this would easily work. And then about twice a week, you simply pour water in here until it overflows. There's an overflow hole right here, and so you run a hose or pour a pitcher of water in there until you see it run out. You cannot make it too full. And the water will slowly wick its way up. There's soil packed into the corner. It will slowly wick its way up and uniformly water it at the top. You cover it with this so that it won't get extra wet when it rains. This actually is supposed to shed water, and the only water loss from it then will be from the leaves themselves as they transpire or sweat their water out into the air. So it's very miserly in terms of water consumption, and kind of an attractive looking box. It comes in the terracotta color and also in the dark green, and we have them for sale here. They're $59.99. They don't come with the soil, but 1 bag of this soil here. Any kind of potting soil will work. If you already have some Miracle-Gro, use that. We like ours because it has some compost in it, and it's a very, very good. This stuff, when you open the bag and you look at it, you just want to eat it. It just looks so good.
Good dirt.
But anyway, we like our Lake Murray mix, but that will work fine. Even if you have a bag that has some fertilizer in it, use it anyway. You can put it in here. Use the bag of fertilizer that comes with it. Like I said, it comes with a little bag of lime. Use the whole bag. The directions are all included with this. And it's just a really, really nice system. We experimented with this last winter. We grew some last summer. We grew some cabbages in the fall, and we grew melons in the spring. The melons, of course, trailed out on the ground and were all over the place, but they were anchored in here, and they all did very well. I also had a customer who had one of these who came into the nursery a couple times. She had tomatoes like I do here, and she just overflowed. She came to find me every time she came in. Remember me? I'm the Earthbox woman. I have the tomatoes, and she was telling me all about it. I have never had as many tomatoes as I'm getting this year. Somebody gave it to her as a gift. She said, I started out by taking 2 chairs and turning them backwards and putting them here for the chair backs to fasten the tomatoes to. She said soon they were over the tops of the chairs, and I had to come up with another way of staking them up, and she was just going all guns on this type of thing. So we're glad to be able to have it available this year also.